So hey guys, welcome back to another predictions video, and in today's video I'm going to be predicting the Maya versus Jonas fight. If you are new around here though and you haven't yet subscribed, please do so, like the video if you do indeed like the video, and let's get straight into it. So going into this fight, Maya is 19-1 with 5 KOs and Jonas is 14-2-1 with 9 KOs. This fight is for the IBF World Welterweight title. Maya's last fight was a win via points versus Bordeaux, and Jonas's last fight was a win via TKO in round 8 versus Wyatt. This is in Jonas's home country of England. Jonas is 39 and Maya is 33. They have both been pretty active as of recent in the last year or two, and Jonas is a southpaw. And so just to speak about a bit more about what I've just been saying, obviously they're both coming into this fight. I believe Jonas is the champion for this one. I believe Maya is going up in weight. I might be wrong. I don't know off the top of my head. She is going up a weight, and so is that going to play a factor? I'm not entirely sure. Jonas is now seeming to be more comfortable at this weight as compared to when she did kind of suffer defeat in 2021 versus Taylor, and so is she now more comfortable at this weight? You probably like to say so, and she's now built a bit of momentum and got a bit of momentum from being at this weight for a little while. Obviously, she's coming off a win, Jonas, TKO round 8, dominant victory versus Wyatt. It was a performance where she could pretty much land wherever she wanted and didn't really seem to be troubled at all, and timing was very good, and we'll speak a bit more about what she was good at in just a moment, but it was a very comfortable performance. Same with that of Maya's, to be completely honest. It was a relatively easy performance for her to now. I believe that was the fight where she moved up in weight in the first place, and so it was kind of a fight to just be against a tough opponent, but also to help move up and weight in the process, an opponent which wasn't a champion level opponent. But obviously, this being in Jonas' home country, Maya is now used to fighting in England. She's fought here the past 3 times. She's most definitely used to it now, and so I don't know if that's going to be too much of a home advantage, but there probably will be a little bit. Jonas, of course, being the older fighter and being considerably a little bit older, obviously, like I say, she's probably on the best run of her career, like I suppose opponents wise and winning against tough opponents wise, and so I suppose the age isn't really playing too much of a factor at the moment, so I suppose we'll have to wait and see if it does end up playing a factor in the fact that they both have been active. I think fighters who do progress, do get older and don't be active, I think that can hinder their career. I think you can have a late prime and you can do well in that older age, but if you're going to be slowing down in who you're going to be fighting and only fighting the best opponents and, refusing to fight against up-and-coming fighters, I think it can, like I say, hold you back a bit, and I think it can, like I say, hinder your career and stop that possibility of a late prime happening, and I feel like Jonas hasn't done that, and neither's Maya, to be fair. Obviously, she's not she is not that much older, but, she's still on the possibility of the older side. But I think this is most definitely a fight where both fighters most probably are in their prime of their careers, which is great to see, of course. Jonas being a southpaw is going to play a factor. Maya going to have to be able to deal with that. Always tricky, always a factor. And so just to, speak about their losses in the past, obviously Jonas, she had that loss in 2021 versus Taylor and a loss in 2018 versus Obernoff. That was a while ago now. We can't really say too much or look too much into it. Sorry, you can see the thing that I'm reading off in the bottom left corner. I'm trying to... you can still see it. Maya's loss, split decision versus Baumgartner in 2022. It was seen as a bit of a controversial one at the time. I don't know if we're ever actually going to see the rematch for that or not. But, I suppose it was a good fight nonetheless. I think I would argue that Baumgartner probably did deserve to win it, but it was a close fight, and it was only a split decision loss, and was definitely a less convincing loss than that of Jonas's losses. Jonas, as a fighter though, she's, of course, like I mentioned, she's got momentum. She is a pressure fighter. She takes necessary risks, same as that of Maya taking necessary risks. She has power in her own right, and she's proven that from some of the stoppage she's been getting, and that can also come through having her strong left-handed, and the fact that she will lure you in with punches, but also the fact that she's got good timing and she's got good snappy punches in the process. She's also got solid jab, solid fundamentals. She will cut punches through your guard and good straight shots. She's got able to keep a good range and to keep a good distance. I think she fights best at a mid-range. She can fight off the back or the front foot. I think she probably fights best off the front foot. She's got solid footwork, decent feints, changes levels well, capitalizes on mistakes, and that can come through timing a lot of the times. At times when you're coming in, and she can time you when you're coming in. That's always a helpful thing to have. Possibilities of negatives about her. I would say she's a little bit one-dimensional, a little bit predictable at times. You can see that she's going to be lining up the shot to time you to come in, the straight shot to time you to come in. And if you can see that come in, then possibility the shot variation isn't crazy. And so there's availabilities to kind of see that as a weakness and then be able to capitalize on that. She's not overly fast, so I don't think her hand speed's overly fast, and she can sometimes leave out her punches a little bit too long. Probably that means that they are coming in with more power than punchers who are just constantly just doing fast combinations with fast hands where possibly they're not overly as powerful, but I would say she's not overly as fast. She can kind of just walk onto shots a little bit at a time. She's got a bit of a weak guard. She can sometimes have a bit wider hooks when she does let her hooks go. She can smother in close. She can tire, and she doesn't have loads of head movement either. So there's definitely things there which you could see that possibly somebody like Maya might be able to capitalise upon. But Maya as a fighter, she's got a good jab herself. She punches her jab through in the process, and she can keep a range nicely with that when she does punch a jab through. She can fight mid-range or in close. I think she's probably a better fighter in close than that of Jonas. She can take a shot. She's proven that she's fought some tough girls who's thrown some tough punches, and she can take a shot. She controls the pace well. She moves well. She changes levels well. Good combinations. In my opinion, probably better shot variation than that of Jonas. She uses her hooks well, like I say, and does go to the body well. Jonas goes to the body well, but I would say that Maya probably uses her body punches with hooks well and better. She's not intimidated by any fighter. She takes necessary risks, like I said. She will let her hands go. She can fight quite often all types of fights. She's willing to stand and trade. She's willing to go around on the back foot. She's willing to, try and pick her shots off a bit at times. I feel like she probably doesn't do that enough, but she can fight multiple different types of fights, however the fight may go into. She is probably the more aggressive, I would say, out of the two. She is probably willing to give a little bit more than possibly out of the two. I don't know. I haven't seen it too much yet. The negatives about her, of course, she's going up in weight. How's that going to affect her? Is that going to slow her down? I think possibly it is slowing her down a bit. She can be drawn into opponents' fights, and if Jonas is going to want to be on the outside, Maya probably shouldn't allow her to just be on the outside. She's a bit of a slow starter. She's willing to stand and trade and just kind of stand straight on and trade. She has got lesser power out of the two. She can be a bit flatter footed. I think she moves well, and she moved well in the lower divisions, but I think moving up she is becoming a bit slower. She is becoming a bit more flat footed, and is that possibly going to mean that she can be timed coming in a bit easier? She's not got loads of head movement either. She isn't, in my opinion, as disciplined as that of Jonas, and she can, like I say, get drawn into opponents' fights. She's got to gain respect with her, not just her power, but I think she does have the better speed and the better hand speed. I think she's got to gain respect, but she does also come in with her chin in the air quite often, which is something which you most definitely don't really want to be doing when you've got against somebody like Jonas, who is going to pick the shot and find the timing on the shot very nicely. Jonas is the favourite, and I think that Jonas will win via majority decision. I think it's going to be a very close fight. I think Jonas is probably going to get the better start. I think she's probably going to be working the shots better and be on the outside, but I think Maya might make necessary adjustments and might come and try and bring the pressure and try and make a fight of it and win a few rounds in the middle to the late rounds. And in the late rounds, it could just be whoever wants it more and whoever's willing to give more, which I think Jonas will land in the power shots, and the fact that she's at home, and I think she's going to, like I say, land the more scoring shots. I think she's going to win by majority decision. Then possibly we could see her run it again. I don't know, people like Sandy Ryan could be an option. I don't know if that will happen as a Sky. I suppose the rematch with Baumgartner or the fight with Jonas and Baumgartner could be there. I don't know, I feel like there's definitely fights around. I mean, possible rematch with Katie Taylor. I don't know if that will ever happen, but I think there are fights around in the division, and I think it'd be nice to just keep the big fights coming for Jonas, and even Maya as well, keep the big fights coming, and that just makes for the most entertaining fights, of course. And yeah, that is it for today's video. Hope you did enjoy. Like the video if you did indeed like the video, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.